again. I'm in Wales, so I'm international now. Actually, I have done a video from Scotland, so just ignore that. I'm in the little town of Dolgellau. We're here today to have a look at a disused railway. Starting from here at Dolgellau and working our way over towards Barmouth. And this was the former Cambrian Railway and former Great Western Railway. It's now the Mawddach Trail. So we can walk on quite a lot of the route. As usual, let's get our bearings by taking a look at Rail Map Online. So we're going to be looking at the last 10 miles of the Rwabon to Barmouth line, at one time a highway for holidaymakers from the Midlands and beyond, open in stages from 1861, the line film victim to the Beeching cuts in 1965. I'm specifically going to be looking at the section from the town of Dolgellau to the Welsh coast at Barmouth. This section of line was opened by the Aberystwyth and Welsh Coast Railway before being taken over by the Cambrian Railway. It was later absorbed into the Great Western Railway. Now, geographically speaking, I'm a little out of my usual jurisdiction, so if anyone is new and hasn't seen any of my videos before, I make videos mainly about disused railways, canals, or anything that's got a bit of history and worth exploring, looking at what's left behind and trying to piece together what we can find. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. We're just going to be seeing what we can find along the Mawddach Trail. So these things in the park, literally just by the train station, where the train station was, don't appear to be related to the railway we're seeing today, but they are related to some of the quarrying works that go on or have gone on in the area in the past. So that's the town of Dolgellau, just walking over the bridge out of the town up to the top road. So tight little town, not much room for cars in there. But I'm just taking you up here just to show you the first thing on our disused railway walk today. And this would have been the former Dolgefe Station. It's now, as you'll see, there's nothing left. There's nothing to show you of the station, but it's just to show you it's now the bypass. There we go. So just have to use your imagination with the help of some old photos. The station opened in 1868, named as the English spelling of Dolgellau. It wasn't renamed to the spelling we recognise today until a few years before its closure in the 1960s. We can see the sidings and goods shed and turntable on this map. And if we introduce Google Maps, we can see the road following the old route of the line. So there's nothing really left of the railway in Dolgellau, but I have been tipped off about something. It's here actually. That was a lot easier to find than I thought. This is an old weighbridge, so this would have been a siding and some goods sheds. We've got the old little brick weighbridge on the side of the railway. Look at that, it's still got the scales. A little bit of track there. Little bit of railway history just left. Like I say, nothing. The railway's pretty much erased from Dolgellau now. It follows the bypass is just there, the other side, so the line follows that. So we're going to just head up about half a mile where we can actually get on to the trackbed. So as I said a few minutes ago, the old trackbed is now a road. Mawddach Trail leaving Dolgellau follows the course of the river, but we can pick it up on a trackbed just by the side of this roundabout. Yeah, you've got to look at this bridge. So this is the River Mawddach. We're going to be following this all the way to Barmouth. So we'll see that river get a little bit wider.
I think it's safe to say that due to tree coverage, this first section of the Mawddach Trail is not the most scenic in comparison to the other sections we'll see later on.
Now, you hear me say this a lot. I've said it several times this week already, but this is where I grew up on my family holiday, so I've walked up and down the Mawddach Trail, I don't even know how many times, 10, possibly even 15. So between the ages of about 8 and the ages of 16, maybe 15 actually, I was dragged up here against my will. I mean, looking back, I was really lucky to go to so many places. We used to travel all over the country on a little family rail card. Kids went for £1. I don't know if they still do those. So I was really lucky. I got a really good geographical education around the UK. And you don't appreciate things when you're a teenager, do you? You know what I mean? You don't really want to be there. You're just doing things your parents like. But I come back now and I see why my parents loved doing things like this, loved visiting, walks like this. So we've been walking about a mile and a half. We're just coming into Penmen Pool. So just an update on the map. That's where we are now. Lovely little toll bridge, 80p. To go over that now. I remember that one used to be about 10p. So that's the old signal box. Trackbed, and this is where the platforms would have been. I think they started around about here, just wooden platforms. So no chance of those being left. But this is it's now a bird hide. Not a bad view, is it? So we've been pretty enclosed up to now on that little section we've been on, but it really starts to open up now. We start to get some quite stunning scenery on the next section now. It's the little house for the toll bridge. I think you can stay in that now. I think that's been turned into accommodation. So it's a little bridge. This on the left hand side, this is the old station building. It's now what are they called, accommodation for the hotel. Lovely little setting. So many an hour I've spent sat down here growing up outside the pub with my mum and dad. Nice 360 view for you there. And that's that river where we just stood on, just 2 miles back. Not even that. So you can see how much it's opened up already. Here's a hotel. So that's looking towards Barmouth, straight on there. another one of these tensioners here. We're just debating whether or not this is related or not. I thought it looked a bit, someone's put a new felt roof on there. Yeah, it definitely is from the railway. Yeah, it's got a fireplace in there. Lots of holes and brackets. Got a door. Here's the chimney at the other side. It's like a plate, so it's plate layers up, isn't it? Bolt sticking out. Looks like they had them going all the way. Just intrigued what these are. Posts, but that, I think there's something to do. Something to do with the telegraph poles, maybe, because they seem to be around where we've got the tensioners as well. Something here that's been dismantled. A little bit of railway lining, concrete there. Whoops! Dear, best of balance today. Have I ever?
For the next few miles, the old railway hugs the side of the River Mawddach as it expands into the Mawddach estuary. The tide is out at the moment, but it can look even more spectacular during a high tide, with water coming up to the side of the railway embankment in places. As we found out today, even on a seemingly calm, mild late spring day, it can feel quite exposed to the elements.
It's just good to get out of that wind. Have a quick look under this bridge. It's the estuary. It's good to get out of the wind. It's really windy on the estuary today. We've probably picked the windiest, well, the only windy day we've had this week. It's been quite difficult to do any talking so far. I think that wind's died down a bit now. So that's the first proper glimpse of Barmouth Bridge in the distance. There's a telegraph pole there that's got a tree growing out the top of it. Another one of them posts right on the edge. And on this side, where is it? That's on the other side of the track. That's the first railway sleeper we've seen today. Telegraph pole. It's still got its attached to its So we've got another old row of telegraph poles here. So there's 6 telegraph poles in this little section.
As you might know, I love coming across all the little add-ons that adjoin the disused lines, like this old tramway from a nearby slate quarry. We can see the banking here going inland and the remains of a jetty where you would assume that slate was loaded onto boats. I've no idea if this predates the arrival of the railway or not, but we can see on the old maps that there was a spur to a siding alongside the railway line. We can see the tramway going inland via an incline. This then crossed the main road via a bridge where the bridge abutments are still clearly visible. At the time of my visit, the stonework from the bridge was heavily covered in foliage, but the abutments are more visible on older snapshots of Google Street View, so one to keep an eye out for if you're ever driving down the road between Dolgellau to Fairbourne. So just at the end of the tramway and where that siding was is the remains of some old cottages. So it's probably a safe assumption that these were something to do with the quarry or the tramway.
Sit for 5 minutes on the side of the trail. There's plenty of tables, plenty of places to rest. There's this old, I think it's another old plate layers hut. It's got no roof on, has it?
Fireplace there.
Where? Oh yeah. Built into the sides of the rocks as well. It's got some bricks. What do they say? Something north. Let's go inside. There's your little fireplace. You can see in the chimney, I can't get up high enough. Some war-related things, assuming.
These are anti-tank blocks.
Little culvert there underneath the railway line going over. So we're only a few miles from the end of the trail now. I'm just staying in a cottage. What I'm on now, is the land where my cottage, the cottage we rented, is on. So literally you can get onto the trail straight from the grounds. Brilliant. What more could you ask for? So I've dropped the wife, Charlotte, and Gordo the dog back at the cottage, and I'm going to carry on as far as Morfa Mawddach, Barmouth Junction. I don't know how much of the footage I'm filming today is going to be usable. It is quite windy. Just leaving behind, excuse me, just leaving behind the estuary, Mawddach estuary. It's behind us there. And we head inland slightly before the line curves back round. And eventually lines up to head over Barmouth Bridge. Come over that little bridge. This is the site of Untitled Station. You won't be surprised to hear there's absolutely nothing left of Untitled Station these days. That would have been the approach road, I assume. A little bridge down here. Go and have a look. I think we can get underneath it. You can see there's a heavily padlocked gate there. So single platform, I'd assume. Opened in 1870, closed in 1965. You have to take my word for it, there was a station. So let's just catch up on the map where we are. Dolgellau. We've walked all the way down this red line. And there we are now. So as you can see, we're on that final little stretch now. So all the way along the line today I've been seeing these. Now I incorrectly, well, or correctly, I don't know either way, assumed that there was something to do with the telegraph poles, maybe a bit of extra support because of how exposed parts of the line are, but I don't think that's the case, because I've seen those lines of telegraph poles on the other side of the bank from where one of these posts was still stood. So are they just fence posts, or were they something to do with signalling perhaps? As always, if you know, do let me know, help us out. I mean, it's a beautiful setting walking along the estuary, which majority of this line follows, but it's great to be in a little bit of shelter back in the trees, because that wind, I've had wind in the face for several miles, and I am stinging a bit, to be honest. A bit of wind burn going off, a bit of volume in the air. Another large piece of rail sticking out of the ground there. Presume it's been some kind of sign or something at some stage. So I'm here for 7 days. It's really not long enough. Just off to the right hand side, we've got a fantastic little setting called Mawddach Crescent. Lovely bit of history behind that. I was having a walk with the dog last night, and I'd like to go and make a video, but I really don't think I'm going to have time. But yeah, I'll put up some photographs, because there are some interesting things related to the war, specifically to the Royal Marines who commandeered that section of land, and there's all kinds of foundation and ruins from back then. So I'll put up some photographs of that now. Another little bridge with farm access. Let's have a look underneath. Yeah, same sort of thing, isn't it? Same design that we've seen all the way down. Little nature reserve at Arthog on the left hand side there. Another place I was dragged around as a youth. I wonder if I was anything like Kevin and Perry. I do remember though, I used to walk around behind my parents, about 5 yards behind them, with my headphones in, listening to music. I think in those days it would have been like a Walkman or something like that. I don't think it would have either been advanced enough to have a portable CD player. I think we're talking cassette tapes. But I'm digressing. We're on the final curve now on towards what you now know, if you know this area, Morfa Mawddach Station. Also, it used to be known as Barmouth Junction. So this is where we join what's now the Cambrian coastline, coming in from that direction. But we also had another line going off to the left at some stage. I'll see if there's any remains of that. That was on the other side of the triangle, I suppose, for trains heading back over to Machynlleth Way and over towards Shrewsbury or Aberystwyth. And I can see the end of the station platforms. So I'll have a wander around the old station. Half of the old station is still in use, but only a single platform now. Some public toilets here as well, very welcome at the end of a walk, especially when you get in your 40s. So here's another map. So again, where we've gone down the red line, Arthog, that's where we are now. So there's Barmouth Bridge into Barmouth. So there's a view of the curve on the station coming off onto the trail that we're on at the moment. It's a bit of a dirty board we're looking at there, but we'll see that exact same viewpoint in a few minutes when we get to the other end of the station. Little Robin come to join me here. But there we go, there's the platform edge. It's awfully tame, isn't it? Yeah, I can't see any platform on the right hand side here, but there is. You can see there's a raised bank in there. It could be under there. But we can see on the left there, so we can see a definite platform edge there. That nice, built up with slate. Here's a little section with a little less vegetation, and we can see the patterns on the platform edge there as well. And we can see the curve of the station, just like on that photograph. We've still got the platform still coming all the way down here. Still not seeing anything on the right hand side though. We can see live railway line there. That's your Cambrian coastline into Barmouth. It's a bit misty over there today. And here's the platform edge. As you can see, if I just fetch you through this gate briefly, you'll see there's the other platform going off in that direction. So I think same thing on that side as well. Missing platform on that side. From what I can see, some says that was double track. Yeah, but that's where we've come from. That's the line going off back towards Dolgellau. So in that direction, you can just see it in the distance, Barmouth Bridge. I did a video on that a couple of nights ago that should be online for you to watch now. Nice sunset walk along Barmouth Bridge. So go and have a look at that one, and that'll tell you the story of the rest of the line into Barmouth. We've seen a few of these old gate fence posts. Look at that little winding mechanism on there, just to tension up the fencing. I wonder if they're original fence post in the 1870s perhaps. I really don't know, but it's certainly some age there, hasn't it? Just sat down next to a robin just to wrap up. Hello, come here. So that was the Dolgefe to Barmouth line, the old Cambrian Railway, and been on the go now 7 hours, so that's quite a long day of filming, but I've had an absolutely fantastic day. I challenge you to find me a more scenic disused railway than the Mawddach Trail, and then give me some money and I'll go and film it. But yeah, joking aside, I've had a great time today. Robin's back again. Hello. Trying to film it, do you mind? I will come on camera or stop distracting me. Yeah, so I'll wrap up there. So again, as always, thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. If it's your first time, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. So tame, aren't you?